So you're broke. Not forgot my wallet broke. Not waiting for my salary broke. I mean Kenyan broke. The kind of broke where your M-Pesa balance is so low that you've named it. Mine is called motivation, because every time I checked it, I felt inspired. Deeply inspired. Not to work harder, but to reconsider my entire life. And yet, the world expects you to save. Hi, I'm Miss Maitati. I make videos about money, personal finance, survival, and building something solid, even when life keeps throwing bills at me. If this video gives you clarity, a strategy, or even one good idea, consider buying my coffee. It keeps this channel alive and the work going. Link below or scan the QR on your screen. Stay with me. You know, nowadays, financial advisors on YouTube with teeth brighter than Nairobi CBD at noon look into the camera and say, set aside 20% of your income. 20%. My income is 100%. My expenses are 150%. I'm running a personal economy that would make the IMF request a meeting because it looks like I'm surviving on vibes, prayer from a relative who still thinks I'm figuring things out. No one will tell you this, but you have to say, because here in Kenya, being broke is expensive. It's what I call the poverty tax. So let's talk about it. If you have money, you buy the 2 kg packet of rice. If you're broke, you buy the small one for maybe 40 shillings, that kadogo. And you know the math is violent. You're paying more per grain. You buy 1 cigarette instead of a pack, 1 tomato instead of a kilo, 1 egg instead of a tray. You're paying premium prices for survival. That's the poverty tax. It's a subscription that you never asked for. You never signed up for. So yes, we must save, even on a low income, especially on a low income. Question is, how? But how? How do you save when your bank statement looks like a crime scene? Withdraw. That's what your account is known for. How do I save? From what exactly? There was no deposit. I'm here today to give you strategies that work. Not cute, not aesthetic, not soft. They just work. Here are several rules. Number 1, the unplanned income rule. This one right here is law. If money enters your life that you didn't expect, it's not yours to enjoy. It's yours to secure. This can be something like a random refund, a birthday zawadi, or someone repaying you back. They've been owing you for quite some time and you even gave up. You never thought they would refund you. And then they send that money back. Or a forgotten chama payout. You see that money right there? It goes straight to savings. And this is because you are already surviving without it. You had already adjusted your suffering. And I say this because I once got like 50k from a cousin who's abroad, who apologized as a way of apologizing for not doing anything for my birthday. 7 months late. To be honest, I had emotionally healed. Okay, that 50k went straight into a money market fund. I didn't even blink. Okay, that money is still there, probably earning sometimes 6%, 8% or so. Small but steady. That is armor. And by the way, if you're serious about building an emergency fund that actually covers real life, not some motivational quotes, there's a product linked below. It's structured so that you know exactly how much to save, that you stop panicking every time your landlord clears his route. Think of it as more of survival and not vibes. Now, let's go to rule number 2. you have to master the kadogo economy, because this is where most of your money leaks. That 50 bob bottle of water, that 50 bob cup of tea, that 50 shillings worth of airtime, that 50 shilling snack, that 50 shilling just because you're bored. And by lunchtime, you've spent 250 Kenya shillings on nothing that moves your life forward. That 250 Kenya shillings a day is 7,500 Kenya shillings a month. That's rent in some areas. To some people, that's grocery money. That's breathing space. So you literally drank your rent. The fix is simple, brutal, but effective. Carry water. Yes, even if it looks unserious. Even when you're dressed nicely. Even when you're on a date. Besides, hydration over humiliation. You look slightly unhinged, yes, but you'll be 100 shillings, 200 Kenya shillings richer by the end of the night. So, pick your struggle. Now, rule number 3. The no spent day. Choose one day, or even 2 if you're capable, where you spend zero. Zero. I have those days. I love those days when I'm like, I am buying nothing unless it's extremely an emergency, which I try my best to plan. Okay. So this is to say, walk if you can, eat from home, skip the snacks, say no to quick bites. You don't need a detox excuse. All you need is discipline. That one day can save you 500 to 1,000 Kenya shillings in a week, if you're honest. These are examples, okay? Thus, 2K to 4K a month. That's your emergency matatu fund. Painful? Yes, especially when you're starting. Powerful? Also yes. And don't romanticize it, because if you do, it will start feeling awkward. You'll watch colleagues buy food, snacks. You'll chew gum like it's a full meal, and you'll also stare at billboards like they personally offended you. But good, you will be building resilience. Rule number 4, kill the mambo ya leo. This one hurts your ego. Why? Because we live in a culture of visibility. You must attend. You must contribute so that people can see you contributed. You must show up looking stable, in things like weddings, funerals, birthdays, or even after parties. Then there's random brunches in places like Kilimani or Lavington, where a plate costs 2K or 3K, and it tastes like regret. Little do you know that you're just paying to prove that you're not struggling. Who's fooling who? But if you're struggling, see, you save first. You save first and then socialize later. But hutaki kupitwa. Anyway, start saving. Say it calmly. I'm saving. Okay? No long explanations, no apology. Just, I'm saving. That sentence right there protects your future. And if they mock you, then they are not your friends. They are your expenses. Okay? And if you're not embarrassed, you can suggest alternatives. Okay? Something like kienyeji sports, home hangouts, walks, conversations that don't cost you 2K, 5K, 10K. And yes, sometimes you'll be alone. But alone and funded beats popular and broke every time. So, next, rule number 5. Use the tools at your disposal very carefully. In Kenya, we are very lucky. Kenya has given us very powerful financial tools. These are things like M-Shwari, KCB M-Pesa, Fuliza, Tala, Branch, Stuff like that. M-Shwari lock savings? Good. Lock your money. Make it painful to access it. As a matter of fact, pretend it's gone. KCB M-Pesa fixed savings? Good. Use it for short-term goals. Fuliza? That's not savings. That right there is an overdraft with attitude. Tala and Branch? These are emergency tools. So stop using them as lifestyle extensions. I remember some time back, I once borrowed 1,000 Kenyan shillings for transport to a job interview. I didn't get the job. I still owed the money. Then borrowed to pay the first loan. Within weeks, that 1K had turned into 3K on nothing. I learned a very hard lesson that time. That debt grows quietly, like mold. And when you're building wealth or you're trying to build wealth, no matter how small, even if it's small wealth, something like interest must work for you, not against you. And that's why I keep saying in my videos, you need structure. Stop with all this motivational stuff. No, you need a structure. So here's the truth. Saving on a low income, especially here in Kenya, is war. Let no one lie to you that it's easy. It's waking up and deciding that future you needs protection. It can look like save 50 shillings today, save 100 shillings this week, save 500 shillings this month. Small? Yes. Transformational? Absolutely. And this is because you see things like emergencies. They don't announce themselves. Unakaa kidogo kidogo, rent goes up. Transport fares rise. Your child's shoes or your shoes tear. And out of the blues, medical bills arrive. For example, in my world, medical bills are not optional. They are scheduled. They are real. I came to learn that financial stability is not like some cute goal. It is oxygen. Without it, you die anytime. You can die anytime. So when you lock something like 500 shillings or 1,000, that is not savings. That's armor right there. That is you saying, not today. So take whatever you have. 20 shillings, 50 shillings, 100 shillings, if you're lucky enough, 1,000 shillings, and lock it somewhere uncomfortable. Then name it something serious. You know, one of my accounts is called Do Not Touch. Yeah, I know, you may think it's dramatic. Okay, yes, it's a little bit dramatic, but it's effective for me. So yes, and if you want a full system, step by step, so that you can stop living in reaction mode and start building real financial stability, check the tools linked below. They exist so that you can stop guessing and start executing. Because let's face it, let's be honest with each other, right? This is not about looking rich. It's about being prepared. And you'll watch people spending freely. You'll see them. You'll watch them eat well. You see them every day. You see them travel, upgrading their phones, their cars. And you'll sit there with your water bottle, and your locked savings, and your slightly bruised ego. But the beauty of this is one day something just happens and you don't borrow, you don't beg, you don't panic. Why? Because you've been preparing yourself. So all you have to do is just transfer from your savings calmly. And in that moment, that is when you will feel your power. This is dignity. That is you winning. So start today, even if that motivation of yours is sitting at 12 shillings. Sasa, lock 50 shillings or 500 shillings before you text your ex. Trust me, They don't deserve your airtime, and neither does your impulse control. I'm Miss Mitha. Low income, save anyways. See you in the next video.